Holy f***. Oh my god. Welcome back to our PCM 25 career mode with Sirocco for Endurance. Last time we took on the first World Tour race of the season, the Tour Down Under, and we won it with Ivan Romeo. A pretty fantastic start to the season. Today we are traveling to Spain, to the country of our main sponsor Sirocco, for some one-day races in Mallorca. First of all, Trofeo Calvia, a versatile sprint against Primož Roglic. Our leader is most likely Javier Serrano with 72 hill stat and 71 sprint, or Matthias Schwarzbacher with 71 hill and 71 sprint. Both are possible if they can make it to the finish. Ola starting off with a +2 on Serrano, so 75 hill stat, 72 sprint. I think he's our leader. And actually, turns out Matthias Schwarzbacher is Slovakian champion, so that's a nice jersey. Honestly, the tempo on these climbs is so high that I've lost 3 riders already from my team due to a bad position, so Serrano and Fernandez are going absolute ham just to stay in the peloton. There we go, surviving the Col de Can Costa, 55 kilometers to go, and we've got 3 riders left. Not exactly a perfect race so far. Entering the last 40k, so the last couple of hills are coming. Serrano back with full energy, so that is nice. Samuel Fernandez by his side, but there are quite a few riders attacking at the moment, but I don't feel like it's my job to respond to that. I'm just hoping to survive for now. And as long as Red Bull controls for Roglic, I'm not complaining.
12 seconds later.
Oh snap, attack by Primož Roglic. That was not part of my plan. I'm gonna try and keep myself in this peloton in the hopes that another team controls the man, because I don't have the power for that. The gap is about 20 seconds and we've got some pacing in the peloton by UAE Team Emirates. So Igor Arrieta is pacing down Roglic. 20 kilometers to go and Primož Roglic is caught? Yes, indeed. So we're well positioned. I'm feeling good. In the last 4.5 kilometers, last attacks are coming by the likes of, I don't know who that is, Sylvain Moniquet, Serrano in the wheel of Arrieta right now, NSHL way too late. I'm going to try and move up right now, Last 2 kilometers, this is... Should I sprint already? I don't think I should. I'll go to the wheel of Covey, 2 kilometers to go past this roundabout, and I hope that Covey is a good sprinter here. Entering the last 1 kilometer, there we go. Serrano goes on the right side of the road. We've got a victory for Anders Voldager, but Serrano, is that a podium? That is a podium. Javier Serrano podiums Trofeo Calvia, and I'm honestly pretty happy about that. Like, winning this race was always going to be difficult, and a podium is the closest thing to that, so that's a great result. Especially when this is only the 2nd podium ever for Javier Serrano. Anyway, next up, another one-day race, Trofeo Ses Salines, and it looks to be a false flat uphill sprint, with Arnaud Delis as the favorite. Now, our sprinter is significantly worse, Yuri Slotao, 73 sprint, but Matthew Fox with 72 sprint has a fitness peak, so could be better in the race. And actually, looks like that's the case. 74 sprint stat on Fox, while Leitao is only 73, so Matthew Fox is our sprinter today. In the last 4.5 kilometers, but I think this stage might be a dud because there's a breakaway up the road still with 3 riders, Clément Rousseau, Mess Anderson, and Florian Dauphin, and we are not exactly in a great position, so the peloton looks like they might lose it here. Come on, Leitao launches the lead out. There we go. Fox in the wheel. Oh la la. Breakaway is caught. Fox launches, is out of energy, is completely out of energy. And it looks like the breakaway is winning. Clément Rousseau is taking it for... Is that Euskaltel? Yes, it is. And Matthew Fox finishes somewhere 12th. So not exactly the result I was hoping for. Like, our sprinter was far from the favorite here, so it simply was not our responsibility to catch this breakaway. Also, our riders were simply not good enough to do that, so I don't actually feel too bad about the breakaway winning. Our next race is definitely not a sprint, the Trofeo Serra Tramuntana with a proper climb that tops with about, I would say 15 kilometers left. The favorite is Pablo Torres with 77 medium mountain. But actually, I feel like we might have a chance with Adria Pericas, 77 medium mountain as well. Anyway, let's find out. Ooh, the race starts with a 7-kilometer climb straight out of neutral, so I need to select all my riders and get them to the front as soon as possible, because positioning is key from the get-go. Pericas with a +2 on the day, so that is 78 medium mountain. I'm happy with that, and Gomez Lopez can protect him, but I think we're good. Over the top in a perfect position, but now there's a giant valley before the next 2 climbs, so we've got some time. And actually, because the big climb tops with about 20 kilometers to go with a downhill finish, I don't think it's likely that Pericas wins, so I think I'm already happy with a podium. Because, well, our man has 62 sprint stat in the last 50 kilometers on the second last climb, and my position is pretty good, and it needs to be, because this climb narrows the Col de Soler Nothing to do with Marc Soler, but we gotta climb this mountain like we are Marc Soler though. Okay then, final climb is about to begin, the Col de Puigmayor, 15 kilometers 6%, so not the steepest, and the second part is the hardest, so we gotta try and save some energy for that final part, but the tempo right now by UAE, Marc Soler actually, so he's in this race. We gotta try and follow that. Wow, halfway to climb, rider by rider, people are dropping and we're starting to struggle with the tempo. The yellow bar on Pericas, not looking too fantastic. Lopes about to drop. Omerzel now taking over when it comes to protection, but the tempo just keeps on going, and only now in the second part of this climb with a small yellow bar left on Pericas, so we are really struggling. Samuel Fernandez or Last Domestique is basically done for. Ooh, attacks are happening at the front end. Pericas' yellow bar is basically done for. Almost at the top, we've got about a kilometer towards the top, but I think we might drop just before the top. Pericas is going to drop here. Pericas is struggling to get it with pole double. And we are dropping right before the top of the Col de Puigmayor. Come on, Pericas. Get back to that group ahead of you. It's a 10-second gap. Pole double is pacing. We are in the wheel. I'm trying to maintain position on 25-30 to recover some of my yellow bar. But in doing so, I'm basically dropping off the wheel. Ay. This race is not going that well. Dropped by pole double, he's right ahead of us. We're now with Vazar and also Hesman, but I've got some energy, so I'm trying to make it to the front again. I've got a little bit of yellow bar, but we've got about 2 kilometers to make it back to that front group, because then it's a downhill to the finish line, but I think it's over. We are dropping some people here now. Double is gone. Come on, Pericas. Keep on flying. Maybe a top 10? I don't think so. In the last kilometer, Pericas is gonna finish in 12th place, so that is a bit disappointing. Honestly, stats-wise, the winner, Cristiano Rodriguez, is not much better when it comes to medium mountain, 75, but our hardcore difficulty makes that 82 medium mountain instead. But even with that difficulty, I feel like we should have been able to top 10 this race. So yeah, I have to do better. Our next race is once again a medium mountain stage, but this time the medium mountain falls in the middle of the stage, so I see a bit of a versatile sprint. And Primoz Roglic is the favorite. Like sure, I enjoyed the 77 medium mountain on Pericas, but 62 sprint stat, he's simply not competitive in a group sprint. So Omerzel with 65 sprint, 75 acceleration might be a better option here. Ouch, starting off with a -1 on Omerzel, but it's not exactly impacting its stats. Meanwhile, Pericas with a 0 day, and he's actually got more negative stats than Omerzel, so that is odd. Today's big climb is about to begin, so let's see if our boys can survive this. To be honest, they really should. Actually, the tempo in the peloton is really slow on this climb, so we are easily surviving this. And after this climb, it's kind of all hilly parkour, so maybe I should have brought my punchers instead of my climbers. I genuinely think that could have been a better lineup. In the last 35 kilometers now, quite a few attackers from the peloton already, but every single attack has been neutralized and I'm still surviving. Oh, the tempo on these last 2 climbs is pretty high, but the peloton is still big and I've changed plans. Omerzel, okay day, but Lucas Lopes, 77 medium mountain, 65 sprint stat as well, so I reckon I might be choosing him as leader. Okay, last hill is here, not exactly the steepest, then a downhill towards the finish line, but a pretty flat ending. There comes another attack. It is Pablo Torres, Roglic following. Pericas takes over to control for Lopes and Omerzel. We've got Sanchez now going. Come on, team. Keep on going. There we go. Over the top with Pericas on 99. Perfect position. Absolutely perfect. Attack on the right by Martin Godson, but I've got Omerzel and Lopes looking fantastic. Last 2 kilometers, our lead out is not as fast as the F1. Lopes in the wheel. Come on, last kilometer incoming. There comes the sprint. Can we get a top 5, top 6? No, because those riders are way off the front. It is Gonzalo Serrano. No, Javier Berasategui winning, and we finish in the 7th place with Lucas Lopes. So an okay result, I think. In hindsight, especially looking at the winner, we definitely should have brought a puncher here, like Javier Serrano. Anyway, P7 it is. On to the final Mallorca Challenge race then, the Trofeo Palma, a sprint race with Kees Bol as the favorite. Not exactly the craziest competition. And our leader is Yuri Slotao. Oh, what did I just see? Did 3 of my riders just ride away in a breakaway? Yes, they have. This is so odd. And it looks like the peloton is okay with it, which is even crazier. A breakaway of 22 riders, including Alvarez, Finch, and Dizdarevic. So this is such an odd situation, but I kind of dig it. By the way, I feel like upping the difficulty at the start of the season was the right choice. Yes, we won the Tour Down Under with Ivan Romeo, but in the races we just had in today's episode, we should struggle with the teams we send, and we are struggling. But that's realistic. And it also makes me value not just victories, but also top 3 results, top 10s, way more than before. Ooh, 38 kilometers to go and the gap is down to a minute to the peloton, so looks like the peloton's getting back at us. Yeah, thanks to the motorbikes, the breakaway is getting caught by the peloton, so full reset of the race. And I've actually got some bad news for the Portuguese people out there, because Slow Tao has 73 sprint stat, Matthew Fox 74, and better secondary, so Matthew Fox is our leader today. In the last 7.5 kilometers, but I'm really not a fan of this parkour. Look at this. A U-turn, and then we go straight into the last 2 kilometers with the last kilometer starting right there. The last kilometer straight though, but that U-turn, we gotta keep that in mind. Last 3.5 kilometers, some attackers off the front, so that is not fun. I will launch early with Leitao. Not yet, not yet, not yet. There we go before this corner. Fox in the wheel. There's a rider 16 seconds ahead, so that guy's winning. Fox is ready, Fox is ready. There we go, launch with Fox, come on. The winner is going to be Alex Segard. I can't believe it. A late attacker wins. That is devastating. But we can get a top 5. I think it's going to be P6. Yeah. Matthew Fox finishes 6th. Like, I'm sorry, but Sirocco for Endurance is not a big team. It's not our responsibility to control any attacks in the last 10 kilometers. That's up to the big teams, but they don't do it. So yeah, Alex Segard with 81 flat stat wins the race. At these 5 races, overall pretty okay results, 3rd, 7th and 6th, but I was hoping for a little bit more. Hopefully the next race goes a bit better. The Volta alla Comunidad Valenciana, a 5-day stage race starting off with a 16-kilometer time trial, so Romeo time, followed by a medium mountain finish, so Romeo time, then a sprint stage and another medium mountain finish, so Romeo time, and one more sprint to finish it off. And of course, our main man, Ivan Romeo, El Capitan, is here. And with a fitness peak. But ouch, the competition is significant. Tadej Pogacar, Mes Pedersen, McNulty, and the list keeps going. Like, winning Tour Down Under is one thing, but beating Tadej Pogacar at Valenciana, that's something completely different. But I do feel pretty confident about this first time trial, so let's do our best. Okay, that's a fantastic race day condition. +2 on the day for Romeo, so 80 time trial and 82 prologue. Honestly, with those stats, we need to win this. On to the first small hill. I want to up my effort to about 87 here to spend some of that red bar, as I said. Now up to 89 over the top and back down to 85 in the descent. But now is the intermediate check and we are beating McNulty by 3 seconds. First time. There we go. But now on the big climb, once again up to 88. I need to spend my red energy here, otherwise it's useless. So this is the way to go. Back over the top on 90 and now down towards roughly 85-ish in the descent to recover some of that red bar. And now we can try and spend it again on the flat path to the finish. Come on, Romeo. This is the final corner. Keep pedaling all out and what is the time? What is the time? First time. Yes, indeed. Ivan Romeo is potentially winning this time trial. The question is, can Tadej Pogacar beat him? Not at the intermediate, by a single second behind. In the last kilometer with Tadej Pogacar, I am terrified, but the finish line is here. Tadej Pogacar comes in second. There we go. Ivan Romeo steps onto the podium as the winner of stage 1 of the Volta alla Comunidad Valenciana. There we go. I'm sorry, hardcore difficulty? Nah, it got nothing on me. Of course, beating Pogacar as Sirocco for Endurance feels fantastic, but I also kinda needed it after the pretty somber start to this episode. Finally a victory, yes. But I do find it quite funny that Ivan Romeo is basically a time trial merchant because he's won so many time trials in the last year and a half. The question is, can he keep the lead of this race in the mountains? We're about to find out because stage 2 is a medium mountain finish, although it's a pretty light one. That said, Tadej Pogacar with 85 medium mountain and 85 stamina is absolutely terrifying. Starting off with +2 race day condition on Romeo once again, so that fitness peak is delivering 79 medium mountain, so that is excellent, although I'll probably take this finish on relatively conservatively. I'll try to win the GC group sprint. And I do think it's gonna be a group sprint because this finish is anything but steep. Around 30 kilometers left in the race and the breakaway is about to get caught. The gap is 1 minute and my team has done nothing in the peloton. It's random teams doing the work, so thank you very much. The peloton has now arrived at the final climb. The last breakaway rider is getting caught, Trofeo Calvia, but our position is relatively perfect, so I'm feeling pretty good. Ooh, last 9 kilometers, there goes an attack. There goes an attack by Tadej Pogačar. I cannot respond to that. But I can set my own tempo. The gap is 25 seconds instantly. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, but bro just literally sprinted up the climb, taking a gap of 40 seconds on the group behind. How is Ivan Romeo supposed to solve this? His yellow bar is thinning down very quickly. I think Pogačar has this easily. Lots of riders pacing like crazy in this group with 2 kilometers to go, but the gap is up to 50 seconds now. Tadej Pogačar is dominating this climb. It's not even a proper climb, and he's destroying everyone. That is crazy. Tadej Pogačar is gonna win here. Romeo's trying to move up. He's got very little energy, but there we go. Pogačar over the line, and we're gonna finish somewhere in the top 10, but my energy, not too bright. Mess Pedersen finishes second. I did not expect that either. Holy shit, we literally just got cooked. Tadej Pogačar picked up Ivan Romeo, dumped him on a barbecue, and up the grill to maximum. That is what happened today. We got torched. Like, if the gap was 10 seconds, then maybe I'd think, okay, maybe if I played better, then I could beat Tadej Pogačar, but the gap is 53 seconds. We finish 8th place, which is not too bad, still in the running for the podium, but victory in the stage race, that ain't happening. Romeo is now a massive 56 seconds behind in GC, but still properly in second place. And that second place, I want to bring that home. But first, we gotta take on a sprint stage against pretty proper sprinters. Mess Pedersen, Bauhaus, Groenewegen. That's a solid list. Hopefully Yuri Slotau can deliver something. Maybe a top 5? I gotta say, it is quite funny to see Mess Pedersen in the polka dot jersey, because he got second on the mountain stage. So, Leitao with a +1 on the day, but it doesn't increase his sprint stat, which is kind of sad, but I just noticed that we don't exactly have a lead out, so Ivan Romeo with 70 sprint stat is gonna be the lead out. Actually, I'm somewhat changing my mind. I think I'll use Romeo to keep Leitao positioned at the moment, but I'll try to look for another sprint train to jump onto. Like, I want to take the wheel of Mess Pedersen, but he simply does not have a lead out, so I'm not sure that's a good option. Ooh, last 4.5 kilometers. I need to choose now. Pogačar is also positioning himself. I'll go with Pedersen. I'm close to Pedersen. I think it's a good choice. Romeo in the wheel of Pogačar and SSL on both riders too late, but I'll sprint with both riders. There we go. Romeo and Leitao, just in case we can get some bonus seconds with Romeo. I'm not complaining. Last 2 kilometers, Pedersen moves to the left with Leitao in the wheel. Pogačar with Romeo on the right. Let's launch our sprint right now. There goes Leitao on the left side, but no. Romeo? Oh, yo. Slotao deserves this nickname. Did you see that? That was the slowest sprint ever because Leitao was out of energy before the sprint even started. Romeo finishes 10th. That sprint was an absolute disaster, but it was kind of funny. Leitao finishing 15th is just so bad. Peñalver is the winner. Anyway, no changes in GC. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like stage 4 really fits Ivan Romeo, so if I was Tadej Pogačar, I'd be shitting myself. On a serious note, Tadej Pogačar is the heavy favorite, but I don't care about him. There is simply no way that Ivan Romeo takes back 56 seconds in this stage race on Tadej Pogačar, so I'm focusing all out on securing second place. So in short, Ivan Romeo needs to survive. But actually, Ivan Romeo in the white jersey, not a +2 day today, a 0 day. Still 77 medium mountain though, so we can work with that. That said, compared to stage 2, this finish is super steep. In the last 15k of this race and the breakaway of 6 riders including Julian Boreg, Rembe legend, has 4 minutes on the peloton. UAE is controlling the gap, but they're not exactly chasing all out, or actually, they are starting to chase all out with Morgado. We are well positioned, we have energy, so that's all good. And not a single rider in the breakaway is close in GC, so they're not a danger to my second place. Climb is about to start with 5 kilometers to go. Romeo is very well positioned, that is perfect. Gap is down to 3 minutes, but the break is gonna take that. Romeo on 87, NSHL on the climb is fine. Come on, team, let's do this. We've got about 3 kilometers to the top of the climb for this peloton, so Tercero, keep protecting. I want to try and do something here, but I'm not sure I've got the energy to do that. We've got Tiberi trying. I am starting to lose positions on 87. Can I move up on 90? Come on, Romeo, keep on doing that. Perikas, try and protect your buddy up there, but I don't think we'll have the energy to attack here. I'm just surviving for now, which that's okay. At the front of the race, I'll pause for a second. We've got an attack by Aleno together with Milan Valer, so those two riders will be fighting for the stage win, but can I make a move on top here? Maybe get a small gap? I don't think I can. I don't have the energy, or do I? There goes Romeo into the descent. Okay. We made a gap of 1 centimeter on the peloton, so that is not going anywhere. Sprinting all out, Romeo is gonna finish first of the peloton, maybe? Yes, indeed, but that does not get us anything. Actually, I shouldn't be that negative because we do defend successfully our second place. In hindsight, I probably should have helped UAE control this breakaway because a stage win was on the line. But like I said, I'm okay with 5th place because it secures our second place. Okay, I completely forgot that the final stage in Valenciana is a sprint stage, so Romeo's second place is already secure. But of course, the question is, can Yuri Leitao leave the nickname of Slow Tao behind and finish in the top 5? Let's find out. Starting off with a race day condition of 0 on Leitao, so not exactly a perfect start. I do think I'll take the sprint on a little bit differently. For example, we had Leitao in the wheel of Pedersen. This time I'll try and put 2 riders in the wheel of Pedersen, a lead out plus Leitao. In doing so, allowing my lead out to launch from Pedersen's wheel with about 2k to go. Basically like this, Leitao in Romeo's wheel and Romeo in the wheel of Pedersen with about 13 kilometers to go. I'm not sure Pedersen is the right wheel, but I'll stay there for now. Come on, Pedersen, move up, buddy, move up. He's trying to move towards the wheel of Groenewegen, I think. I'm okay with that. Groenewegen has a proper lead out on the right there, so that's fine. Leitao, energy gel maybe a bit too early. Pedersen, you're moving left and right, bro. Choose a train. I'm chilling in his wheel. I'm going for Pedersen's wheel. I'm putting my faith in Mes Pedersen today. And he switches train again towards Tadej Pogacar. Pogacar's not even a top sprinter, buddy. Oh, yeah. And now he's going to the wheel of Peñalver. Bro, this ain't gonna work. And now he switches again to Tyson. Romeo launches the lead out way too early. I'm going with it anyway. There we go. Leitao and the wheel can launch right now, but this is gonna be a disaster. An absolute disaster, yeah. Pogacar even beats him. Then Van Poppel wins the stage, and then again, knowing Van Poppel, he might get relegated. But Leitao finishes 11th place, so once again, no top 10. I'm sorry, but Yuri Slow Tao has been really disappointing for our team. But of course, Ivan Romeo has not. 2nd place in GC. After Tadej Pogacar, it's not a shame to lose from Pogacar, so I'm really happy with that 2nd place. And we actually also take home the white jersey, so I'll take it. Like, it's fair to say that unlike Season 1, we are not dominating these races anymore, but I think that's more realistic, especially against the likes of Tadej Pogacar. Winning a stage and 2nd in GC is a great outcome for our team. Ivan Romeo simply keeps on delivering, especially in time trials, but also in GCs, and I can't wait to see what else he achieves this year. But I want to finish today's episode with 2 more races, the New Zealand National Championships. Starting off with a 34-kilometer individual time trial, but of course, Paul Wright has 61 time trials, so it's quick sim time. Surprisingly, Finn Fisher-Black was beaten by Logan Curry. Anyway, onto the road race. 178 kilometers, a relatively flat parkour with a couple of hills, but Lawrence Biffy is the heavy favorite. I honestly think that the only way we can win this race is by going in the breakaway. There we go, Paul Wright will attack from the get-go when the race starts because I want to get in that breakaway and the race takes a long time to start, but here we go. In the break, we've got Crane with us and one more rider there, one more rider there, so that's all good and more riders attacking. I'm liking this. Large breakaway, especially because these riders are not exactly the best riders in the world, so I should be able to compete with them. Finn Fisher-Black is starting to pace in the peloton, but the gap is 12 minutes 30, so this peloton is not coming back. This breakaway is winning. And I'm actually gonna push on this hill every single lap to try and put some fatigue into the legs of my fellow breakaway companions. There we go, 60 kilometers to go. I'm pushing every single uphill segment with Paul Wright. I need people to drop, and there goes the first one. Gardner of the back. Anderson drops as well, 2nd rider of the back. Connolly too, come on, rider by rider. We gotta drop everyone, but this guy, Sexton, he's pretty good. Okay, time for the final climb. Paul Wright moves to the front. Come on, Paul Wright. Get ready for an all-out attack here. Onto the steep section. There we go, all out. Anyone dropping? Yes, indeed. Hornblow, Sexton, and Crane. That's exactly what I wanted. Come on, those are the best sprinters. Come on, group, keep on going. I'm solo. Can I go 99? I cannot because it's literally 25 kilometers to go. But everybody's gone, so I think we might have it. Hornblow is trying to chase, but I don't think he's got the energy. 20 kilometers to go and my energy is really low. The gap to the group behind is 1 minute 20, so I should have this. I just need to make sure I don't run out of energy. Yeah, okay, this race is over. 12 kilometers to go, the gap is 2 minutes 40, and I have to be honest, with about 40-50 kilometers left, I was starting to doubt my strategy. Was I gonna go for the sprint or attacks? I decided attacks, and it worked. In the last kilometer, Paul Wright is gonna be the 2026 New Zealand national champion. There is our man about to cross the line. What a champion. Paul Wright takes it. There we go! Last year, Paul Wright missed out on this jersey. This year, he does not. He's gonna be wearing it all year, and I can't wait to see it. Winning by 3 minutes and 11 seconds, I'm sorry, but is Paul Wright the new Tadej Pogacar? Anyway, that was fun. I would say the one-day races in Mallorca were perhaps the weakest part of our season so far, but Valenciana, New Zealand, Tour Down Under, it all makes up for that. And our team is currently third in the UCI World Ranking, but that's mainly because of Tour Down Under, so I do expect to drop in this ranking. But of course, if we want to stay in World Tour, we have to finish in the top 18, which I'm pretty confident we can do. If our success continues, that is. Next episode, we stay in Spain for a couple of one-day races and the Vuelta a Andalusia, after going to Omloop at Nieuwsblad, our first cobble classic, which doesn't exactly fit our riders, and Strade Bianche as well, so that's gonna be intriguing. And I can't wait to see Mateusz Kopecky in action for the very first time. But that's for next time. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!